Everybody ready? Still happy? All right. Hello, my name is Danielle Cooley, and thank you for coming to our very late afternoon session. I am going to be talking about personas in the age of social media. The talk is going to focus on Facebook and Twitter. And appropriately enough, you can find me on Twitter as DG Cooley. So first, what is a persona? It's a fictional character created to represent a specific user type that might use a site, brand, or product in a similar way. So basically, just an archetype of your end user. Personas were first introduced to us by Alan Cooper in The Inmates Are Running the Asylum, which was published in, anyone? 1999. It's been 13 years and a lot has changed. So, if in 1999 our personas looked like this, with a photo and a quote and a birth date and some narratives, a little bit of detail and a nice flat, visually appealing presentation, what do personas look like in 2012? Well, in a lot of ways they look the same. They're still research-based. We don't just make these things up if we're doing it well. They're still goal-focused. They include a lot of detail. We don't have too many of them, and they are not reusable across projects. The worst thing that can happen to our personas is they end up in a junk drawer. We've worked really hard on them, and we don't want that to happen. We want to bring our personas to life. Send them an email, throw them a birthday party, make them a Facebook profile. Timeline makes this really, really interesting. The profile photo is not unlike a traditional persona profile photo, but the cover adds so much more richness. I know things about education, employment, relationship, likes, other social media tools, hobbies, all that's in there. Just from my own header, you can tell that I have 2 children. I'm married. I work as an independent consultant. I'm 35 years old. I use Facebook Maps sometimes. From my timeline, you can tell that I like roller coasters. Remember too that Facebook ads are targeted. So from that, you can glean information about where people live, what their politics are, what they like to do, where they work, and whether they're male or female. Recall that the Facebook ads on your page are probably not the same ones that your persona sees. So great, let's make a Facebook account. Not so fast. The terms of service say you have to be a real person to have a Facebook account. So what do we do instead? We're just gonna have to fake it. So I did that, and I started by creating a timeline for this persona. And it did tell me all those things, but I had to work really hard to scrape that information off of there. So then I thought, well, what about the About section? And this communicated things much more clearly, but God, it's boring. So I ended up creating this, adding a goals panel, which is the one thing that Facebook doesn't support and the most important part of a persona. It spans both columns, uses a larger typeface because it is the most important thing. And ended up with this sort of hybrid. In the end, we replaced the Facebook logo with the user type. We had that goals section. We have the About section, as much timeline as you can fit. And then we have to reserve a small spot for photo credits, which we'll talk about in a second. Even in the short form, this works well. Just with the goals in the header, we can tell a lot about this person, and it really is almost enough to be able to design for them in an empathetic and useful way. So in the end, the Photoshop file has 186 layers. 30 of them are images, and stock photography is not going to help you here. It's very expensive and it's artificial. So stick with Creative Commons and your own photo library. So I did all that work, and then Facebook changed. These 22 layers became 30 layers. These 31 layers became these 26 layers. So 106 layers that I need to touch to update my Photoshop file. Twitter, on the other hand, you can be as fake as you want. You can be a fake politician. You can be a fake celebrity. You can be a fake fictional character. Or 2 of my friends actually have Twitter accounts for their facial hair. 2 of them. So in addition to coming up with a name and a photo, you have to figure out, is your user more just Wilma or more a redhead rock star? Who do they follow? What does this tell us, again, about where they live, what they like, what their politics are, what their hobbies are? We can tell that Wilma is a Foursquare user who rides the metro in Washington, D.C. Rockstar Gamer likes basketball. Wilma likes wine. Rockstar Gamer has a strategy for eating Lucky Charms. Wilma likes dogs. So I'm interested to see how you apply this to the social media networks that your users use, including whatever comes next. And if you want that very large Photoshop file, you can find it online at facebookpersona.notlong.com.